happen to own. Currently, I plan on getting more. First, let's go with these mean looking bad boys. Now, these are Hero Edge stainless steel, and some of you might remember them from my assassin roleplay, which I am going to do a complete I plan on remaking it with better effects, better story, all that stuff. And this is actually two swords in one. Bam. So they are very sharp. And they are held together by these magnets. And they're very light, and they do feel really comfortable in the hands. Zelda and the Legends of Link. Now first I have the blue one, which is pretty cool. Confess I never really played much of the Zelda or the Link games, but I just really like the sword and I just had to have it. So let's take it out and take a look. Set this right there. And the thing is that the edge is not sharp at all, but it does have a very pointy tip. And as you can see, it also has the little try symbol. This one, it feels good in the hand, but I don't think I would actually use this. Because I think if I try to hit somebody with this, and if I miss, this part will break off. And because it's not full tang, you see, full tang is when the metal goes all the way into the handle. easily. However, I don't want to risk damaging the blade. And also, this is another sword that I really wouldn't take with me, like, to go into battle, because the handle is too small for me, and when I swing it, a little points right here will actually start stabbing me. And unlike the blue one, it did not come with a sheath. This one came with a wall plaque. And you can see it has the little dry symbols on it as well. So, but this one's definitely a lot heavier than the blue one. And I just keep it hung on my wall. And I also love how each sword makes their own unique little sounds. Alright. Now, let's get on to some more historic swords. Now, this sword will date us back centuries and centuries ago. This sword is the rapier. A sword that was most often famously used by the musketeers, the French musketeers. And it came in this beautiful sheath, which is like a wood with wrapped in leather. Actually a little dusty, because again, I have all of these weapons for display and they do collect dust. But yeah, the rapier is a very, very long blade. Let me just set that down. Rapiers were double-edged blades with a fine point at the end. And the three musketeers, or the French musketeers, were the most elite soldiers of their class. Every woman would actually want them. Every man would want to be them. And back in those days, many squabbles or disputes would be solved with public sword fights. And in most cases, the duels will end in death. So this is a sword that I really love. It is just absolutely beautiful. And I'm not sure if this was all part of like defense, like using this to block enemy sword, or just for looks. But overall, it's a very great sword. I love it. And the rapiers were designed to be piercing weapons, meaning that you could thrust and you'd have a better chance of getting through body armor, because many of them wore these large chest plates. But if that doesn't work, of course, they go for the more vulnerable spots like the neck and the face. But the rapier was designed to be a vicious, piercing weapon, even though it was double-edged and could cut. A piercing weapon is mainly what it was designed for. Because piercing could be a lot deadlier than just hacking if done properly. So now we are getting to the good stuff. We are getting to the katanas. Now, the first one was a gift given to me by my friend Jimmy, who's the guy who sold me all of these swords. But this one was very unique because this one was clearly handmade. I mean, the hand is like foam. It's actually wood and foam wrapped around it. And even the sheath itself, you could wear it over your shoulders. This was all clearly handmade. And if we take it out, if you look in there, this was actually made out with an axe handle. It was hollowed out and then it was made to fit the sword. So this is a very unusual katana. As you can see, the grip is very, very thick. So it kind of makes it a little hard to like firmly hold it. But this was actually made with stainless steel, and you can see it, I'm not sure, but there's a few nicks in it because I've actually sharpened it and I've actually used it before to see if it'll cut. And yes, it will cut. And it's actually very, very light. So Jimmy had this in his shop, and I think it was for Christmas or so that he gave this to me. Now Jimmy wasn't the one who made it, one of his friends did. And Jimmy gave it to me, and this is one of the swords that I treasure. So yeah, the handle is all like styrofoam. And now we are gonna get into a sword that only my true fans would actually know. So only true fans would actually recognize this sword. And I think this one makes the nicest sounds. Listen. This sword is the one I use for my Dragon Warrior roleplays. This was actually another gift from Jimmy. And don't you just love the sounds that this one makes? first off, katanas are actually curved, where this one is actually straight rather than curved. It mostly resembles the ninja's version of the katana. The ninjato, I think it's called. I could be wrong. But the ninja swords were actually straight rather than curved and a lot shorter than the samurai's katanas. But as you can see, this one is just absolutely awesome looking. It is stainless steel. It's somewhat pretty sharp, but the sharpening tools I have will only let me sharpen it so much. I'd have a better chance sharpening it with a sharpened stone, but that could like scratch up the blade really bad. So this one is definitely my favorite sword to bring onto my channel because it just makes such nicest sounds. So that is my black dragon sword. Okay, now we are getting to the really, really good stuff. Next are my carbon steel katanas. Now these are the ones that are not for display. These are the ones that are actually often used in competitions, like, you know, like cutting and slashing competitions. And I just absolutely love them because these are the real deal. Now first off, we have this one. Is this just not the most beautiful, or one of the most beautiful katanas you have ever seen? Now, this is a katana without a hilt, and I forgot what the name of that was. But of course, the katanas were famously used by samurais. And the purpose of the design of the katanas with the signature curve, as you see, is for that the samurai, as they're drawing their weapons, they make a slashing motion so that any opponent in front of them is going to get hit. So let me show you that curve. Just an absolute beauty. Well, she's a little dirty. Those little spots you see on the blade is just little rust. Just little rust spots. It's just something that happens when you have them just sitting on a shelf for long periods of time and not actually use them. Of course, these ones are more than capable of cutting. The edge is extremely sharp. Again, it's carbon steel. This is one of the strongest, sharpest steels you can find out there. Sorry. But yeah, this one is just absolutely beautiful. She doesn't really make much nice sounds, but I just love her. I've actually given her a nickname. Her name is Ivory. I'm not sure why I call her that, but I just thought it was a beautiful name, so I decided to call this sword Ivory because she is just an absolute beaut. Alright, just one more sword, and this is my favorite. It is just absolutely badass looking. Now, I should mention that I am using a green screen behind me. So, and the sword, the handle of the sword is wrapped around in green, so you may not see it. So, let's take a look. This is the sword that I have named Toxic. And I give her the name because she has like a biohazard symbol for the hilt. So I'm not sure if you can see all of this because it's like a bright lime green that's wrapped around it. And you see Toxic is actually part of the zombie killer company where they make weapons based on killing zombies. But in all honesty, most of the weapons are just very, very poor quality. But then I saw this, and this one was actually not bad. Let me show you. This baby is just beautiful. And as you can see, she also has like a little rust on her, so I have to clean her up. And this one feels real good in the hand. It is carbon steel, full tang, so the metal goes from the blade all the way down to the handle, making the likeliness of this breaking very minimum. It is slightly heavier than the custom-made katana, and it's actually a lot thicker as well. But that just means a lot more power with this very, very sharp edge. So, yep, this is my favorite katana, Toxic. I'm not so sure if you're able to see all of this because it's also green. Normally, a zombie killer makes very, very horrible weapons. That's often very uncomfortable, or they use cheap metal. But this one was just absolutely their best work, and I just love it. So guys, that's gonna be the end of my video. I